All right. This is the last week of the year. You gotta be careful today. What up, Paul? How's it going? Yeah, we're getting a little bit of a drop this morning, but it's to be expected. So, realistically, we never actually filled the we never actually completely filled the new week opening gap, so that may be the target this morning. Um, Hold on, I just gotta do something real quick and then. It's alright, don't worry if you missed it, bro. There's always more opportunities. It's never the end of the world. Alright, so check it out. So, last week I didn't really stream. I think I streamed on like Monday. And then after that, since it was the holidays, I just kind of stopped streaming for the week. And then I didn't really trade much, but I did end up trading my alpha account. So right now it's blocked for a payout. So I think on Friday I ended up, what happened? On Friday I ended up taking some shorts or something, if I remember correctly. Where was it? Somewhere around here. And then I made like 1,300 on my alpha account, so I requested a $2,500 payout. So that puts us to about 5 grand in payouts for this month. So that account is currently processing the payout. I still have these two accounts, but I think today and this last week I'm actually going to focus on just full porting some evaluation accounts. So last night I went short right around here on NQ during Asia session. So we made the 1,500 on this one. We just full ported it. And I think we're going to do the same thing with this one here today. So what I'm realistically looking for is on the footprint chart. Obviously you can see we had a breakout to the downside. It is likely that we pump back up here at the open, and then we'll see what happens, whether or not we're going to turn back around and then head towards that gap, or if we're just going to blast past this area, and then we may consider looking for some longs, because overall we're still bullish. We're still bullish. I do want to see us eventually. I mean, I don't think it's going to happen this week. Maybe at the beginning of the new year. But I do want to see us get up to like here, like 26,100 area, basically like where this yellow line is, 26,100. I think we are going to get up to there, but I do think it's likely we basically retrace into this move up first. Oh, here we go. We're getting a move down again. Interesting. Yeah, so also, just so you guys are aware, since it is the end of the year, You're gonna have a lot of money kind of moving around from asset to asset, especially with institutions, but we might actually go and just fill this gap right now before market open. I mean, it's really not that far away. It's like 200 ticks away. We can easily drop before market even opens into that area. But large amount of sellers stepped in right here, so basically that was the new 15-minute too. We're just gonna have to wait, because what I'm really doing today is I'm just gonna probably full port an eval. So I just gotta wait for one trade that I think I could make 60 ticks on. 60 to 100 ticks, and then I'm just gonna go like 3 or 5 minis on this evaluation and try and hit profit target. And then hopefully we can make it so we got some more funded accounts heading into the new year, because right now I only have 3. So I need to get back to having like 6 to 10. Gaps getting filled 70% of the time. I mean, I don't know what the percentage is. What I do know is that anyone who says gaps always get filled, don't trade with that mindset, because you're actually going to get wrecked if you go into the morning and you just keep trying to target the gap fill. I mean, if you think about it, if that's what you thought, like, let's say, because I've heard traders say like, oh, gaps always get filled, gaps always get filled. Okay, well, let's go take a look at a gap that didn't get filled. You know, what about this one, right? What about this one? Those never got filled. Those are from April. That's from May. And like sometimes when we have a gap, it may take like a while for it to get filled if it wants to get filled. We still have a gap right here. I don't even know if this has been filled. It's not been filled. That's from November, and here we are heading into January. Now this one's a little closer, and also we have a gap here, right? So like if this day happened and you're like, oh, gaps get filled, and then you kept trying to long, well, you know what, you probably would have gotten wrecked for a few days. But it is likely that this one will probably get filled. So I don't necessarily trade them as like a rule saying like, oh, this percentage of times gaps get filled. We have buyers stepping in now. This percentage of time that gaps get filled, or they need to get filled or whatever. They don't need to get filled, but it is a target that people look at. So, because, and also it's not only just the gap, but it's also like price oftentimes will come back to rebalance a move, right? So like let's say from here to here we had this leg up, okay? So we'll call that a quote unquote move. Okay, so this was a move, right? It was a pretty big one too. It was about 1,000 points, okay, on a daily candle. So if we're going from the low to the swing high, swing low to swing high, if this is now the swing high as we're coming down for the time being, then it's likely that, you know, we're going to rebalance some of this move here, meaning that like we're going to retrace into it before we can continue to go up. Because I mean, it's the market never really just kind of goes in one direction. I mean, sometimes it does, like when we had tariff shit right here and then the tariff shit afterwards. Yeah, it kind of just did go in one direction. But this is like not normal. You know what I mean? Like this isn't really normal. So in a normal market, you'll usually see like price make its move and then it retraces and then price make a move. And then overall we're still in a bullish sentiment, right? So you would still see like price go up and then price will retrace into here and then we'll probably start heading up here. Maybe the first month of the new year. Start targeting up here. Because we do need to break this area. This is a pretty important area right here that I've been watching for like a month now. So, but yeah, in some cases, I mean, you got to use context, right? So in some cases, gaps do get filled. In other cases, sometimes it's a breakaway gap and it won't get filled until a very long time later. Like I have no idea when we'll ever come down here to fill these gaps. We may or may not. I mean, I'm sure if you were to go look back at like 2020, there's probably gaps over there that never got filled, and here we are years later. Like after this drop, I'm sure there's probably a gap that didn't get filled. Like if we were to look at this, right? This is technically a gap here that didn't get filled. And that's from March of 2020. So yeah, just be careful if you're ever trying to trade new day opening gaps, new week opening gaps. And also when it comes to new week opening gaps, those are a little bit more important than new day opening gaps for me. And if there is a new week opening gap, if it doesn't fill it on Monday or Tuesday, then we might end up filling it Wednesday or Thursday. But a good example of it not happening is like last week, right? So like last week, this was a new week opening gap. We didn't fill it the entire week. We almost filled it on Tuesday, but we didn't. And then we just kept pumping. So then the idea is most likely this week, we're probably going to go fill it. But we're just going to understand that that is a potential target. So like this area here around like 25,600 is a potential target if we are going for shorts. But my bias isn't going to be like, oh, the gap needs to get filled, let's just only look for shorts. We're going to wait for market open. And we're going to see what price wants to do. And then we're just going to try and identify which way pressure is going to push. And then we're going to just try and ride the wave for like 15, 25 points and just full port this evaluation. And then if I might trade one of these funded accounts today, but because I got to build the balance back up on them after taking the payouts, but we're gonna focus on the evals first. But I hope you guys had a good holiday week last week, and I hope you didn't get wrecked trying to trade last week. And also I hope you guys aren't getting wrecked trying to trade silver. This thing's been going crazy, as I'm sure all you guys know because it's all over the news right now. But so we got about 5 minutes until open. What up, Chezzy? Yeah, towards the end of the year, I get I kind of chill a little bit because you have like volume start to act a little weird because you have money flowing around into different assets for like tax purposes. And plus it's like holiday weeks where we have like a day where we can't trade, or half days in the middle of the week, and then it makes it kind of weird. But last week I traded Monday, and then after Monday I think we did a little bit of Asia session, and then I did try and take advantage of the volatility on silver because the opportunity's there, and it was pumping over the holiday week and making big moves, so I did trade that a little bit, but I did not stream. But we're gonna hope volume is chill today. Let me see. Do we have any news today? Or this week? I mean, there's pending home sales today, but that's not really. We have FOMC meetings tomorrow. And then jobless claims on we have jobless claims on New Year's Eve. And then on, is it Friday? That's the 2nd. Yeah. And then on Friday we got PMI. So probably Friday will be pretty good, I think. I'm hoping for some volatility and some good volume this week, hopefully. Working on some top step fundeds. That's what's up, bro. Me too. I gotta get back to having 5 of them. Because in November, I had like 5 top step fundeds, and I had like 3 finished evals that I could activate, and I ended up just like blowing all of them when I was trading on my phone while I was traveling, so I gotta get back to having those. And then we'll start working on other firms. I gotta work on my alpha futures because I have the one funded account. I actually have an eval right now that's at like a $1,500 balance, but it's their advanced account, so I'll probably work on that one a little bit today. But first things first is going to be this account. Earnings next week. Yeah, we'll see what happens. We got about 10 seconds, 15 seconds until market open. We're pumping back up into here, but once we get up into this 725 area, or even up here, we want to see what price is going to do. If we are going lower, then I'm expecting us to drop down to 600 at least. But it's best to wait. It's best to wait till we see something, because this could whiplash around a little bit, especially after we had a drop pre-market. And also I want to see I want to see what the volume is looking like the first 15 minutes of the open. Just to make sure I'm not about to trade some low volume bullshit. For order flow, I use a platform called Evals. So it's this one on this screen. It's got and the way I have my chart set up is I'm looking at a bid-ask ladder on footprint, and then I have the DOM right here, like the order book, and then a heat map, so I can see where the heat levels are. And there's like bubbles in here. It's a great platform though. There's a few of them. I mean, you got Sierra charts, you got ATAS, and then there's a new one called Deep Charts. I think Quant Tower also has footprint. Just whatever you do, don't use a TradingView footprint chart, because it's calculating different stuff. It's kind of shitty. Alright, so we want to see how price is going to react once it gets into this area. Like, let's see. From here to here, basically. If it just starts to blast through this area with a lot of buyer imbalances, then we could probably try and target higher, but I do think it's probably more likely that we actually make another low first before we just run up. So as long as we're below this, I am gonna see if there's an opportunity for me to full port this evaluation to go short, but I gotta wait because it's still pretty close to the open. It's the first 5-minute candle. So just so you guys know what I'm looking for potential shorts. If we start getting above this gray box that I have marked out right here, I'm not going to be looking for shorts anymore. I think if we potentially wick up on this 5-minute candle and then start flipping bearish, I might try and take a short. But keep in mind, this is I'm trading an evaluation account and not my funded accounts, so I'm more likely to take trades that are a little riskier because it's an eval. So I don't care as much. But we gotta wait to see. So like, if this starts to flip bearish, I'm probably gonna try and take it. I think I'll have to go 2 minis, maybe. Okay, see how we're just like blasting past it now? So it's a good thing we waited, because that was a lot of pressure to push past this area. So if we actually close up here and it's like a strong close, then I'm no longer looking for shorts. And instead, we're going to be looking for price to push towards Asia highs. Or London highs, I mean. What a pump. That's crazy. It's not even going to give us an opportunity. Insane. We basically shot up 100 points in 2 minutes. It's a good thing we waited though. We waited to see what was gonna happen right here. So we're probably gonna snap through real quick and clear these orders here and take technically took London highs, but I usually do like an hour before London session 2 and I consider that London highs, so I'm looking right here. So we're gonna see how this 5 minutes gonna close. It's a crazy pump though, from the lows there. Like 150 points. Yeah, there's really nothing that we can do yet, so we gotta just wait. We gotta just wait a little bit. I do want to see how the 15-minute is going to close. But if it doesn't offer any type of like entry as we start coming back into Asia session, like, because realistically the target would have been basically 50% of Asia session for price to deviate away from Asia and then come back to retest it. And if it just like runs there without giving us an entry, then there's nothing we could do about it. We'll just have to basically watch it happen. Alright, so we have some sellers stepping in, but I would like to see what happens. But so far this morning, the volume's looking pretty good, so that's a good thing. In the meantime, gold is dumping. Did it halt? Did silver get halted? 7% is fucking nuts, dude. Jeez. $2,000 ticks on silver. Oh my goodness. That's crazy. I'm gonna have to stay away from that. Sounds like something that's gonna blow my account. The best order flow platform and what is the worst? Well, the worst order flow platform is definitely TradingView. So like, don't use TradingView footprint charts. The best one, I mean, it really just, I mean, they all show the same information, so just kind of comes down to preference. I think ATAS is great, that's why I use it, but there's a new one called Deep Charts. It looks pretty good too, but I haven't really tried it out, so I wouldn't really know. Because ATAS is everything that I need. I can connect multiple prop firms and live accounts to ATAS and trade directly on ATAS. It's got heat map. It's got everything else I need, so it's the one that I personally use. But there is CR charts, there's ATAS, there's deep charts. I think Quant Tower has them too. Just don't use TradingView's footprint charts because the way it's calculating the bid and the ask is not technically accurate. It's like calculating ticks rather than contracts or something like that. Alright, we're coming down a little bit. I think I might actually... I'm gonna take a long on the funded account. I'm gonna risk like $1,000.
Order filled.
Which will probably hit realistically really quickly. I need it to basically snap back up right now. I need to move this. 1530. Alright, I'm actually going to move my stop to break even. And then I'm going to see if it can snap back up before it hits us out. Ooh, we got kind of close right there. And also part of the reason why I tried to take that, by the way, just so you guys know, is because the 15-minute essentially opened up with no wick to the top side and we immediately ran down, so we're about to get hit a break even. Once we started to stall a little bit here at the initiation of the move up, the idea would be that like we at least go create a wick here on this 15-minute before it closes, which it might do, but because it didn't happen how I wanted it to happen, and we're still here, I just moved to break even, and then we'll just try it again later. Try a different trade later. But I do want to see if price is going to respect this area. It's kind of what I'm looking at. But because I'm trading the 5-minute chart and the ATR right now is like 30 points, and I'm using like 3 to 5 minis, I gotta move to break even, otherwise I'm just instantly gonna blow an account. Alright, so we got a new 5-minute opening. We're kind of stalling right here, but if we're going to go lower, you're going to see it kind of do it pretty quickly. If this is not going to be respected, this area right here. I'm gonna go short right here.
Order filled.
And I am again gonna risk $1,000 and try and target $1,500. I'm actually gonna move it to break even right now because I don't want it to create a wick and then snap back up. Yeah, NQ is pretty aggressive, so if it's gonna happen, I'm expecting it to just go. I don't want it to like whiplash around, you know? We're almost there though, we're up 1,000, so stop at, you know, break even just to cover some of the fees makes sense, but I just needed to do one more push lower.
Order filled.
Alright, cool. So we were the reason why I took that trade, just so you guys know, is this area right here. The reason why I'm watching it is because when the market first opened up, right? I said that we were going to be watching this area where you see like this this first move down that happened pre-market. When we just like snapped through it and just ran through it with a lot of aggression to the upside, then realistically, because this huge move with all of these buyers, the imbalance of buyers that happened that pushed this candle higher, because it started right here essentially, because it wasn't really right here, it technically started on this candle, then you would be watching this area with all of these bold numbers that have the buyer imbalances as an area where we can potentially, you know, bounce and then go back higher. But then when this candle opened up and we had price retest the POC and then come back down, I only need like 100 ticks, and the ATR right now is 31 points for a 5-minute candle. So at that time we were like looking at a 17, so only half of the ATR was printed so far on the new 5-minute candle. So if it was going to expand, I thought it was going to expand down and break past this. And since we only need 100 ticks, we'll just try and give it a shot. I probably wouldn't have taken that trade on a funded account though, but yeah. The only issue though now is I gotta kind of lose a little bit of money, so I need to get down to like, hold on, let me try and do this real quick. I gotta lose like 20 bucks.
Order filled.
Alright, there we go. So we're gonna lock out of that. Alright, cool. So today we hit profit target on this one, hit profit target on this one, and then I have my two fundeds here that I'll probably try and trade right now. And then our other funded account is blocked because I'm taking a payout on it right now with Alpha Futures. And then I do have an evaluation on Alpha Futures. So let me actually... Okay. But that one I'm not trading on Project X with Alpha Futures. I'm actually trading the Alpha Futures account directly on a test. So we're gonna just wait a little bit and we're gonna see what happens. We're about 5 minutes out from the new 4-hour candle, and that's usually a pretty important time. So I wanna see how this 1 hour is gonna close, how the 4 hour is gonna close, and all the rest of the candles. So like if we were to look at TradingView, I need to see, I mean, this is kind of a weird 4-hour candle, so I want to see how it's actually going to close in the next 4 minutes. The 1-hour candle, 15, and of course, the 5-minute. But yeah, the main focus for this week is not necessarily the funded accounts. It's more so just trying to pass some evals. So since we got half of them, we got 2 of them halfway done today. The idea would be that we just try and finish the second half of it tomorrow. And then hopefully get 2 new funded accounts with Top Step, or at least 1, because I might blow one of them, so I just don't want to blow both of them. So hopefully we just like pass one of them, and then we'll have 3 or 4 funded accounts now with Top Step, 1 with Alpha, and then I'm still working on the advanced account with Alpha, except for that 50k we got to get to 4,000. It's at like 1,500 right now, so I might actually try and take a trade on that. Except for that account, like if you look at the stream, there's only like there's only the P&L and account information for Project X. I don't have it set up for showing what it looks like on ATAS, but you'll see the position on the screen. And then I'll just show you after. If we do trade it, I'll show you after. So right now we're just waiting. Next 45 seconds. We want to see how the 4 hour is going to close. It does look like we are going to probably make another low, but we gotta wait because the 15-minute is looking kind of weird right now. I thought we were actually gonna go higher, but after we broke past that area I was watching in the beginning, which was like right around here, I was expecting us to go higher. Alright, let's take a look. So 4 hour close with wicks on both sides, but it did close bearish. The 1 hour looks pretty weird, but that this wick like this means it's pretty weak, so it does look like we are going to go lower and at least take these lows at the very minimum, but the target should be about 600 for like 100 points lower. But one thing I'm looking at right now though is that if you look right here, right, we had volume, we're up around like 30 to 40,000, which is normal for MNQ when we open at New York. And then it started going around like 20 to 30k, which is normal. But then it dropped off significantly this last 5-minute candle. Now I need to see if it only dropped off because we had like technically orange folder news right now, which didn't really do anything obviously, but I need to see if it dropped off only because of that and it's going to pick up again, or if the volume is actually just like tapering off. Because if it's tapering off, then what's going to happen is we're probably just going to start to bullshit, and that's like a perfect way to just like fuck up your account. News that actually affects the market, you would be looking for red folder news, but some red folder news doesn't really do anything. But like the heavy hitters, are usually within the first. I mean, obviously you got FOMC. I mean, that's red folder news, and that's like always gonna move the market. In terms of, we're just talking about scheduled news releases, and we're not talking about like random news that comes out like Trump tweets or whatever. You'd be looking at usually the first 2 weeks of the month. You'd look at like jolts or NFP or unemployment. And then the week following that is usually CPI, PPI. Those are pretty big. PMI usually does something. Michigan sentiment on Fridays usually does something. Home sales doesn't really do much most of the time. Really, the most important ones to be aware of is like the first 2 weeks of every month causes a lot of volatility, at least when the candle prints. And then of course you have FOMC. Now we do tomorrow have FOMC minutes, but that's not really as important because basically they're just going over what they already, there's no like, they're just making like a statement about their meeting and shit. So you might like FOMC minutes, you might see like a quick spike of volume, but it's not really going to do anything. Yeah. So next year should actually be pretty interesting when it comes to FOMC, because I think Jerome Powell is supposed to, yeah, it looks like we want to push lower right here. Jerome Powell is supposed to, the head of the Fed is supposed to like change, I think, in May. So if it changes in May, then the guy who's going to come walk up and give the right statements and shit during the Fed meetings is going to be somebody else other than Powell. And because Powell has been there for such a long time, the market participants are used to how he kind of says stuff, and they're just comfortable technically with him being there. So if we get a new person, the first few Fed meetings are probably going to be pretty volatile, or even potentially low volume, because a lot of people are going to be trying to feel it out first, right? They're going to, because like the most important thing when it comes to the Fed meetings is not necessarily whether we're cutting rates or not cutting rates, because oftentimes the probabilities of whether or not it's going to happen, majority of the market kind of is already pricing it in based off of what they believe is going to happen. What makes FOMC days like volatile is after they make the rate decision, when the reporters start asking questions, market participants are trying to listen to how those questions are being answered, so that they can get an idea on what might be coming next, right? So Powell is very careful about how he says things when he says a whole lot of nothing basically when they start asking him questions. But if a new Fed chair comes in and they say something, or they slip up and they say some shit they really shouldn't have said, then that can cause like pretty crazy volatility. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Okay, so something I'm noticing, by the way, is that volume is kind of low. This candle is going to be a high volume candle though. We're probably going to move a little bit more, but these past two candles were kind of lower in volume, so I don't want to get trapped in some bullshit, but I do think we're starting to make our way down here to these lows, and then once we get past these lows, what you're gonna see most likely is a large seller step in to take out all these orders on the book and then start having us push down towards 600. If we get some aggression, at least. Otherwise, we're going to be like kind of consolidating right here. If volume stays low and there's no intention to move price, we're just gonna kind of fuck around, I think. But it is looking good for shorts, though, in my opinion. I would not be looking for a long right here yet until something... I probably wouldn't actually be looking for longs until we get back above this area. Back above, like, 780, 800. But we gotta wait. We're gonna see how this 5-minute closes. I'm probably not gonna trade my funded accounts today because it looks like volume's kind of getting lower. But I'll probably try and take a trade on my Alpha Futures funded account, which is what I'm trading on the actual ATAS platform. But I just want to wait for something. Because I'm probably going to go kind of heavy on it. Probably go like 2 minis. Alright, if we can have the next candle pump up immediately after it opens to the POC, I'm going to take a short. Otherwise, if it's just going to run, then it's just going to do it and can't do anything about it. Which it looks like it's about to do right now. So I'm not going to do that anymore because it went down first. I would only try and go short to target the lows if we would have opened up, came up to the POC, then take a short right there to come down here. But because we created a wick to the downside first, and also the POC is down here, meaning that sellers were trying to push and they weren't strong enough yet, then it's better to wait. Probably wait until the next 15 minute opens up, if it doesn't just like melt right here. But when it does take these lows, you're probably going to see a large like a bubble, like a red bubble pop up. And then you'll see it kind of like snap down a little bit, clear the book right here. And then we're going to be looking to see if it's going to continue down to 600. It's kind of what we'd be watching for. But at the end of the day, we'll sit here for another 45 minutes and see if we can find any opportunities to try and take another trade. But at the end of the day, we hit profit target on 2 evals. So I'm fine with that. But I do think there's probably going to be another opportunity if volume doesn't just completely die. You're up $147 after being $700 down. Hey, you know what? Green is green. Green is green. 1,500 on your combine. Good stuff, dude. So now we're getting that bubble. It was kind of a smaller one. I'm expecting a bigger one to actually come in, because it's the only way it's actually going to push past this. We're going to need to see like aggressive. Think about it kind of like a wall. It needs to like punch through this wall right here, which are these lows, because it needs a decent amount of pressure and volume to actually clear out the book right here. But we're gonna wait, because the POC of this 5-minute and the 15-minute is right here. So not only that, but there was like a small attempt to try and break through this area and it failed. So we're gonna look to see what's gonna happen here. It's the new 15-minute candle. There is a potential that this was the retracement before we come down, but this looks kind of sketchy to me, honestly. So what I'm looking at in terms of shorts is basically this area, because these are where the sellers came in, where the move started moving down, and then the POC of the previous candle. So we want to see if price is just going to rip right back up. If it rips back up, then I don't want to touch it. If it respects this area and it closes down here with like a wick to the upside, then there may be an opportunity, depending on where the POC closes, or the POC is when the candle closes, that I can try and take a stab short. But we gotta wait. I still think it's probably going to go create a new low. I would be really surprised if this 15-minute just opened up and then we rip all the way back up here. I don't really... Oh, it's in 720p? My bad, bro. I'll see if I can fix it. It's because I'm actually streaming on a laptop. I have a pretty decent laptop. It's a pretty strong laptop. But I'm streaming and running 4 screens off this laptop and running all these programs. So like in the beginning, it was 1080p, but because I'm poor, and my computer is not some like beast of a computer, I'll fix that. I'm gonna get a better computer this year. But if you're talking about like if you can't read these numbers and stuff, it's fine because I'm not really reading them either. Unless you want to read them, then we can zoom in and you can take a look, but you don't really need to actually read the numbers here in most cases, because all I'm looking for when it comes to the bid and the ask is like I have indicators that are showing me what's happening, so I don't have to be zoomed in. So like sometimes I'm even just looking at the chart like this, right, where I'm just looking for the large orders where the POC is and where the volume was for the previous candle. And then if you ever see me zooming in like this, it's not because like I can't read any of these numbers either right now. So like it's not because I'm reading the numbers, it's because I'm looking at these numbers in bold, because those are imbalances. Those are 400% imbalances. So I'm basically just seeing where they're at in the candle. Okay, but I think I might if we can close looking something like this, I might actually try and take a short, unless we start ripping up. But yeah, it's definitely on the to-do list of probably getting a PC. Because honestly, my computer works fine, but for streaming, I probably need a better one. So this is a pretty bullish close. We're not going to try and take a short right there. Oh, we might actually. We might.
Connection lost.
Oh shit. What just happened? No, we're not going to. This is going to push higher. This is probably going to come at least back up to here. But yeah, we're just gonna have to wait. It's just how it is sometimes. It's just a waiting game. Unless you want to try and scalp every little movement of the market, I mean, you're more than welcome to do that, but it's not really how I trade. Because honestly, like, I know I took a trade on the evaluation account today, but realistically, like, if I wasn't trading evaluation accounts and I was trading my funded accounts, I probably wouldn't have taken anything yet today. Probably would have just been sitting here the whole time. So it's coming back up here to this untested POC. I want to see if it's just going to blast right through it or if it's actually going to stall there. Well, the reason why I wouldn't really have traded is because, like, there was no, legitimate, like, like, there was no legitimate setup for me to take, realistically, like, let's think about it for a second, right? So, basically, price came down here, I went long on the evaluation, it popped up a little bit, and then it came back and hit me at break even. And then we came up here, and then I went short right here. I would not have taken that trade on my funded account because, like, you're in the middle of the range, and it's just, it could realistically go either way, especially when the ATR was this big. It's smaller, it's like getting smaller, but that's not like a high quality trade that I would be willing to risk funded accounts for, if that makes sense. Like, when I trade evaluations, I'll take riskier trades and I'll size up way heavier because it's an evaluation and I don't care if I blow it. I do care to a certain extent about blowing funded accounts, but I don't care about blowing evaluations because I'll blow evaluations all the time. I mean, I think this month I probably blew like 10 evaluations, but the only thing that matters is, like, we're net positive on the month. I mean, that's really all it is. That's the only, it doesn't matter how many accounts you blow as long as you have more in payouts than you have in fees after taxes. You're fine. So I'm really aggressive when it comes to evaluation accounts. Like, as you saw, I basically tried to hit profit target in one trade today, which, if it wasn't for the break even in the beginning, I would have. And then this account that I was on last night during Asia session, I went 5 minis on shorts and then it hit profit target in one trade. So usually on these top step accounts, I'm trying to pass them in 2 trades basically, because there's no reason to waste time on evaluations. If you're learning, then don't do what I just said I'm doing. If you're learning how to trade and you're, like, still trying to get your stuff down and kind of understand what's going on, or maybe if you haven't gotten payouts or it's not, you don't really get payouts, then just take your time on the evals. But if you are getting payouts, then just full port them, dude. Like, otherwise you're just wasting time. It's just like, think of it as like a business expense. Like, your business is a trader, an analyst, not even a trader, an analyst for prop firms, and the evaluations are just part of the business expense. So, like, let's say this month I have 5 grand in payouts and I spent like $1,000 on evaluations. Well, it doesn't matter. because I'm positive, right? And so we technically made some money this month, right? But if you're not getting payouts and you're spending $1,000 a month on evaluations or more, then yeah, you probably shouldn't be full porting them. You should probably take your time on them so you don't go broke. Pay me to pass your accounts? No. No, sir. Because I think I probably from purchased to passed evaluation accounts, I probably pass like 60% of the ones that I buy. If I had to think about it realistically. I tried to trade some evaluations last week during that low volume bullshit. I fucking blew those. I blew like 3 of them last week. Oh, and then I bought actually I bought an account last week with a firm that has this rule where if you have an open position like past a certain time, it's an automatic rule break. And I woke up late last week and I tried to flip a contract to like make it count as a day, and the moment I entered into the contract, it was early close on Wednesday. So the moment I entered into a micro, the market closed like a couple seconds later, and I instantly blew that account. So that was a fucking waste of money. I think that might have been the fastest I've ever blown an account before. It was like 3 seconds. Yeah, you could scalp these areas if you want. I usually don't. And like also, I'm looking at a 5-minute chart, you know, so I mean, if you're scalping and you're on like a 1-minute chart, I mean, I'm sure there's like plenty of opportunity to scalp and, you know, maybe use a little bit more size and do what you do. But I'm usually just trading off of like a 5 and a 15-minute, and I'm looking at the hourly and the 4-hour. So whenever we're like doing this, it's like super, like this is pretty low volume right now. I'll just wait. Yeah, 5-minute is not a good time frame to be trying to scalp this type of stuff. Because scalping to me is like when you're going for just like a few points, or you're like adding and subtracting contracts into a move just for a few points at a time, but you're doing a lot of them. Because usually when I look for trades, I'm trying to find an opportunity where I can get like 50 to 100 points in this market, and then like the minimum, if it's on a funded account, the minimum would be like 25 points. Anything less than that, I'd probably just wouldn't take it unless I'm full porting an evaluation. Then if I can find something where I think I can make 60 ticks on it, I'm gonna take it. But what this did do is, because this happened right here, later on, whenever we start, maybe even if it's not today, but later on, whenever we start heading back down this area, this is a great target to try and take a short and take out all of this shit. And when it does take this out, it's going to actually do it, like, you'll see the candle kind of come down and then like push past it really hard and clear this out. But that'll be for later. If that's left there, if this is left here, and like we kind of go up and we do that slow grind bullshit where we just kind of come up here low volume and then Asia session and London session do whatever, and then New York opens and this is still here, depending on what happens, this is a great target. Because there was no legitimate, like, it went like this, right? And then it never broke it. If it went like this and then came back up, then you wouldn't want to. It's not the same. But because they're all kind of like at the same level, yeah, we could target that later. But for now, volume is low, so we're just bullshitting around. And probably what's going to happen is we're going to come up here, and then we're going to like slowly roll over, and it's just going to be bullshit until maybe after lunchtime. But we'll see. Who knows? Maybe volume just picks up out of nowhere, but I doubt it. So we'll see what happens right here. Where is this? 780, 820. So if we actually end up picking up some volume and then just really actually pushing through this area to start taking these highs, there may be an opportunity. But if we're gonna come up right here and kind of stall out and then kind of do a low volume rollover of just like, it just kind of goes like a limp rollover, then we'll probably just stop trading. Alright, so we're starting to roll over right here. But I wouldn't want to take a short right here, because there's a chance that it comes down into half of this move and then just pops back up. But we'll give it a little bit more time, but I'm kind of leaning towards stopping. There's just like lower volume. We're heading towards later in the day. There will always be more opportunities tomorrow. And if we're kind of just not really doing much right now, I usually stop trading in 20 minutes anyways, but if we're really not doing much right now, then there's no reason for us to try and like force something. Because if we end up losing, like let's say we take a trade right here and volume's kind of like this or whatever, and we end up losing a trade, well, because it's kind of slow, there's not really an opportunity. It'll be less likely that there's an opportunity for us to try and make our money back. So if we did take an L, if we try to take something, we would basically just have to eat the L. So I'd rather just not even take a trade in the first place. And we'll wait till there's more volume tomorrow. And then we'll try and just pass these evals. Unless this starts picking up a lot of speed. If it starts picking up a bunch of speed here in the next like 15-minute candle in about 4 minutes, then I might try and target the lows, but I think it's likely we probably do a little bit of these shenanigans here. Come up, down, up. Some bullshit, you know. And hopefully Alpha Futures will release my account today so that I can potentially trade it tomorrow. Because I requested a payout from them on Friday. And whenever you request a payout from Alpha Futures, they'll like block the account from being traded until they really like take the funds out of it and then send it to you or whatever. So it's kind of like I'm not able to trade it right now, but it's fine because there's really nothing to trade with it anyways. So hopefully they allow me to trade it like tomorrow or by the end of the day today, so that tomorrow I can trade it or the next day. But I have to check what the eligible hours are for trading this week for like New Year's Eve and January 1st, because I don't know what the prop firm hours are. Alright, we got like 1 minute left to see how this 15 minutes is going to close. But right now it's pretty slow. Man, look at gold, dude. $1,700 ticks at New York. It's disgusting. Should have just traded gold today. I do trade gold. Although recently I haven't been trading gold as much this month, but since September, when we started getting like on gold and silver in September, yeah, like September, October, when we really started pushing like super parabolic, I was trading gold for a while. And then in November, when we started kind of like consolidating for a little bit, like a few days or a week or two, I kind of stopped trading gold, and then I was trading silver a little bit during these moves. And this move I was trading silver, but then like once all the news started coming out, and then now you have everyone who's like, oh my god, silver. Well, now I'm not trading it anymore, because now it's just like silver is kind of crazy, bro, because one mini is $25 a tick, right? So then if you were to think about like this New York session, if we win 1,000 ticks with one mini, that's a $25,000 move, right? Or even if you had one micro is $2.50, right? So then it's 1,000 ticks is $2,500. So it's kind of like a lot. And sometimes I'll use it for passing evaluations really quickly, but since it's been pretty volatile, especially like this past week, I really haven't been touching it as much. But I mean, when you have assets that are like super volatile, like gold and silver are super volatile right now, that there's plenty of opportunity for you to try and take advantage of that volatility as a day trader. And that's the whole point, right? So I do trade them. But right now we're focusing on NQ. Although NQ is on some bullshit today a little bit. It wasn't that bad, honestly. There were some opportunities probably for people, obviously, within these moves. I mean, this is like a 160 point range, so you could easily catch, you know, your 20 points or whatever. 25 points, 50 points, somewhere in here, and make money. But I am focusing a little bit more on NQ, and I'll let everyone else like try and trade the because dude, there's a lot of people. Think about it like this: if you don't trade silver, but now you're trading silver because you start hearing everyone talk about silver, and you're not used to how it moves, or you're not used to like the size adjustments that you need to make when it comes to trading silver, you're gonna actually, it's so easy to blow your accounts trading silver. And I guarantee you there are probably a ton of people who are blowing their accounts trading silver. So just let them deal with that mess, basically. I mean, but there is nice moves. Like today, there was a nice move. Yesterday, this was crazy. But like, think about it like this, right? Like last week and over the weekend, you got hear all this news about silver. So you got all these like traders who are like, "Oh my God, silver's pumping!" Like, all you got to do is they're looking at this, right? And they're like, all you gotta do is just buy it, and then like it pumps up, and they're like, oh, you just gotta buy it. They probably all probably all of them got wrecked right here, you know? Because that's a massive move. Like, it's disgusting, dude. 1,200 ticks. Good luck. But yeah. So yeah, I'll trade usually gold and NQ. But recently, since silver's been pretty volatile the past few months, I have been like trading silver a little bit. But NQ is definitely my go-to. It's the one that I look at every day. It's the one that I understand the most. I am pretty good with gold. Like October, I basically only traded gold. I don't think in October I traded NQ at all. It was only gold. But yeah, you gotta be careful about like everyone wants to talk about silver now. They want to talk about commodities now. And then you bring a bunch of attention to an asset and you got all these people trying to trade it now. But why weren't you trying to trade it since May? Like, since May, it's been ripping. And it was cleaner. Now because all of the eyes are on it, it's going to be more volatile and you got to like size down, and you may have like nasty moves, but there's probably great opportunities. So we're coming down right now. Realistically, this is what I'm thinking. I mean, the idea would be that we come down and we take these lows, but there's also, of course, the opportunity that we're coming down right here and then we're about to just bounce back up into a range. But if it does break these lows, you're gonna see it do it kind of quickly. So platinum is the way. Yeah, dude, look at platinum too. Even platinum's been all of them. Look at platinum. Look at that. It's also $25 a tick. This thing's been ripping too. All of them have. So we're going to see right now, after this 5-minute closes, depending on how it closes, we're going to see if it's likely that we're actually going to take these lows. But again, there's a chance that we come back up and range here, or even we wick below this, trap all the breakout traders, and then just come back up here. I'm on the 5-minute time frame right now. Like, at least the time frames that you're seeing on my chart, they're 5 minutes. But I usually look at 5-minute and the 15-minute. I have a footprint chart that's on the left of my screen, like on my left screen that you guys can't really see. It's a 15-minute chart. And then on my right screen, which you guys can't see either, because you guys are only seeing what's in the middle of my, like my middle screen, which is what I'm usually looking at anyways, but I do have a higher time frame chart open up on the right side where I'm usually looking at like 1 hour and 4 hour. But there's no reason to show that on my screen because I'll show you guys what I'm looking at on this screen that's obviously on the stream. And if I need to, I'll just look at a 4 hour on here, right? Or a 1 hour on here. Gold, 5 minute. When I trade gold, I'm usually looking at the same thing. 5 minute, 15 minute, 1 hour, 4 hour. I used to trade the 1 minute, I don't anymore. I used to trade the 3 minute, I don't anymore. I'll look at the 3 minute sometimes, like, if the 5 minute looks just disgusting, sometimes I'll break it down to a 3 minute, but I'm usually just looking at the 5 minute. Like, I'll look at an hour, the hourly candle, to get an idea of where I think the next hour we're going to basically expand to, or if we're not going to expand. And then I'm looking for entries based off of a 5 and a 15 minute chart. So like my streams are probably like, let's say if you watch another trader stream and they're like trading a 1 minute chart, obviously they're gonna be having like more trades and more shit happening. But because I trade a 5 minute chart and I wait for the 5 minute to close before I make a decision, I mean, I'm usually only catching like a couple trades a day, if that. Like today we basically took one break even and one win, and then we've just been sitting here because there's been nothing. Like we came back up, and then I said that we were gonna come into this area and then probably roll over slowly, but we did pick up a little bit of speed. But now the issue is, right, is like this 5 minute candle opened up, we were pushing down, created a wick. So you don't, whenever we're doing this and it's lower volume, it's not really the best idea to try and like anticipate the breakout, because I mean it can work, but there is a chance that we just kind of range here for a little bit, and this is a pretty decent sized range. So you need to have a kind of a pretty big stop loss. And then also when it's doing something like this too, there is a chance that we just like, you know, we come down, we go up, we come down, we go up, and then we actually take these lows, but we just wick it. And then everyone who tries to take like a breakout trade to the downside to target the gap fill of 600, then we just pop right back up into the range and everyone just gets fucked. So usually whenever we start doing this, I just kind of sit on the sidelines. Is this the mini? No, I'm looking at MNQ. I'm looking at MNQ. I trade MNQ. Well, this is the NQ continuous contract on this chart, but when I'm looking at order flow, I'm looking at MNQ because I'm usually trading 5 to 10 micros on my funded accounts. But I'll trade minis on like evaluations or bigger accounts, like my 100K account with Alpha Futures, the funded one. I usually trade like 1 to 2 minis on there. But I'll still make decisions based off of the micro chart because I just understand the numbers better because I'm looking at it every single day. In terms of volume, so when I'm looking at whether or not volume is high or low on the day, like earlier, so let me expand this so you guys can see this. I know it's probably low quality, but I'll tell you what the numbers are. So this is market open, right? So at market open, you're usually on the micro contract gonna see anywhere between 30 to 50,000 contracts the first 5 to 10 minutes. And then what'll end up happening is we'll start to like die out a little bit, but not really, because it'll still be between 20 to 30,000 contracts. Then depending on if it's a news day or not, if it's a news day with 10 a.m. Eastern news, like red folder, you're going to see volume die out right before the news, but then right after news comes in, it's going to start picking back up, and it'll be back in that 20 to 30,000 range. So once we kind of start dropping below, like we start dropping below into 14,000, 14,000, 11,000, 17,000, that's like lower volume. It's not terrible, but it's lower volume. 11,000 is terrible. Like 11,000 in volume is like a shit. That's a shit 5-minute candle, honestly. But we come down, we start picking back up, and in this candle where it was trying to potentially break past it, we're back up in the 20,000s. Now we have this candle, which is at 12,000, 13,000. We still have a minute left. So unless something happens right here, this is also going to be below 20,000. So to answer your question, when I'm looking at like good volume, realistically, I want it to be above 20,000 contracts per 5-minute candle. Now, obviously, that's going to change if you're looking at a different time frame, but for a 5-minute candle, I probably want to see like 20,000, mid 20,000. If every 5-minute candle is like 30,000, 40,000, then it's like a crazy volatile day with a bunch of volume. But yeah, so like what I'll do is I'll wait 15 minutes after open. I'll see what the volume's doing. If it's staying above mid 20,000s, it's decent to trade. If it starts dropping below, then not delta. So delta is totally different, right? Like volume is just letting me know if the conditions are like, if I want to trade it, because I want to trade with higher volume. I don't want to trade with lower volume. Delta I'm watching for other things. Like I'm using delta to look at aggression, momentum, potential exhaustion, and absorption. But the delta numbers, those are not, I'm not looking at those and deciding whether or not like it's a, I don't know how to describe it. Like it's not, like I'm looking at those to make decisions on trades, right? I'm looking at delta to make a decision on a trade. I'm looking at volume to let me know, for the most part, whether or not I should be trading or not. But there are certain cases, like if you're trading an absorption setup, like you're looking to see if buyers or sellers are getting absorbed, then yes, you do need to look at volume to understand if it's true absorption, to then make a trade decision based off of like an absorption setup. So you would look at volume, but I mainly just have volume right there for absorption setups if I'm trying to take an absorption setup, or just to let me know whether or not it's a good time for me to trade or not. Like right now, if you're looking at volume, it's not really a good time for me to trade because I'm on a 5-minute candle. Because this candle was like a 15,000 contracts. We're basically almost halfway through this candle already. We're about like 40% through it. And we're at 5,000 contracts. So unless this just starts to flip and move in a certain direction or just like start pumping pretty hard, this is also going to close at like 15,000 contracts. So that's lower volume. We don't really want to touch that unless it starts picking up. So watch. If it starts to pick up right now and volume picks up and we start actually pushing lower, then we'll see if it's actually going to break this area. But if it doesn't pick up and it just kind of goes back and forth, then it's just bullshit. This is bar volume. So if you look at each of these cells, like this is one cell, this is another cell, this is another cell. This is for the 5-minute candle. So I'm not looking at the total amount of volume. I'm just looking at the volume per 5-minute candle. Now on my other chart though, I'll have a volume profile up and it'll show me like where the POC of a range is, or wherever I marked out the volume profile, or where the volume area high is. So like, here, I'll show you. So this is a 15-minute chart, okay? I usually will draw out like a volume profile, and this gives you a bigger picture of volume, okay? So just the same way that within a 5-minute candle we have the POC, the volume that has the high volume nodes and the low volume nodes, it's just the same thing as a volume profile. This is a fixed volume profile, so we could draw it wherever we want. So it's the same thing. Like, imagine this box you see here. Hold on. It's like the same thing as what we look at in a 5-minute candle, except I don't put value area high and value area low on the 5-minute candle, but we still look at the POC. So then, like, this is a bigger time frame. But then if you were to go look at like these cells down here, this is for each 15-minute candle, right? So now you see how these are like 70, 60, 50, 40, 50. But yeah. But I won't use like the volume for the actual day. Okay, let's see what it's gonna do right here. I think I might try and just take a stab at a short, but it's gonna be on an eval. Because I think we're coming up to the POC right now to test it, and we're gonna flip.
Order filled.
Otherwise, if we like pop all the way back up, then whatever. I'll take the L on it. I'm going kind of heavy. I'm gonna have to risk like $1,000 on it. So we're gonna hope.
Submitted.
We're gonna hope that this 5-minute is gonna flip, and we'll take it to basically the lows.
Order submitted.
But this is a risky trade because like we're still here in this range, so we're essentially trying to anticipate. And now volume's picking up, right? So we might actually get fucked right now. But we're trying to anticipate a break, like for volume to pick up and break the other direction. But we are still in a range. So it can easily just come back into this range, come back up here. But we're making a bet that it's gonna break on this second attempt here. But because we went heavy, we're in 2 minis basically. The idea was that this 5-minute candle came up and retested this POC and then flipped. And now we don't want it to come back up here. So if it comes back up here, that's why the stop's right here. It's because if it comes back up here and it breaks past this, then we're going right here. And I'm definitely not moving my stop up here because that's like majority of the drawdown on this evaluation account. But yeah, this is not a good sign, but it's okay. We didn't take any trades on any funded accounts today. We're just trying to anticipate a breakout to the downside. But in a situation like this, I would rather take the attempt a little bit before than try and trade like a break and retest breakout, because there is a chance that we're actually going to come down here and wick it and just come back up. So it's better if we do it this way. Once we start taking these orders right here, though, I am going to just move it to break even because we are in a range and I don't want it to come back. It is going to be important, though, to see how this 5 minutes is going to close here in about a minute. If it closes bearish, if this closes as a red candle, we're probably okay. But if we pop back up here and we close up here, we're probably cooked. But this is also not really a trade I would take on my funded account. I'm just trying to pass this eval. And if I end up losing the trade, then whatever. It won't be a blown account though, because there's like $2,000 a drawdown on this account. But I need to get it to like 4K. So it's at 1,500 right now. If we could take the lows, I would be at 3,000. And then I'll just try and pass it tomorrow or something. You were in the shorts earlier, Red Man. You made 2,100. What's up? Okay, that's nasty. That's nasty. Good stuff. So what I'm thinking right now is it's actually not looking that good for what we want. And if we do start to move down, if we move down and we don't just pop back up right now, the moment it starts getting down towards the low of this candle, I would actually move it to break even. But there's a chance that it actually doesn't get below this candle at all, and it's going to stall here at the POC and it's just going to pop back up. But we're going to hope that doesn't happen, but it might happen. It definitely has. It definitely has made the move for the day. Volume died out. There's really nothing to trade. We're trying to just force a trade right now on an eval, just to try and make some progress on it and pass it. But if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. Because I don't really care if I lose 950 bucks on an eval. Especially after we, what's it called? Profit target on this one and profit target on this one. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to, like, build up, my funded accounts again. So I have, like, 6 to 10 funded accounts going into the new year, and I only have 3 right now, so hopefully, what's it called? I can pass some so we could be at least at like 5 or 6 going into January. For sure. Yeah, it's free, dude. So, I mean, there's some cool traders in there. Also, sometimes I give away accounts. So, if you ever want to win like a free 50K Alpha Features account, sometimes I give them away in the Discord. I actually just gave 2 away last week. So if you want to join the Discord, it's free. I don't really sell anything. So it's just a place where you could talk to other traders, I guess. Alright, so we're gonna get stopped out of this. Oh yeah, I mean, and something too, like, I forgot to say this today, but you guys, like, shouldn't try and copy my trades, because
Order submitted.
the way that I trade accounts is, like, not good for a beginner and not good for copy trading. And by the way, like, there's a delay for YouTube. So there's probably like a 7-second or 8-second delay for YouTube. And in a fast moving market, I mean, that can be the difference of like 15 points. And you got to also understand that, like, when I'm trading evaluations, because I'm up on the month for payouts, I'm willing to use profits and risk it on evals on like subpar setups just to try and get more funded accounts to go into the next month better, right? So it's
Order submitted.
all right. So we got taken out of that. Oh, we still have one contract.
Order filled.
But yeah, so like the way I trade evaluations, you should probably not copy anything I'm doing. This is not financial advice because I don't care if I blow an evaluation. Basically, it's just like part of this gamified prop firm version of trading. You're gonna blow accounts, and as long as you're getting payouts, it doesn't matter. And since I'm getting payouts, it doesn't matter. I'll blow accounts. So I just don't want you guys to like follow a trade that I take and then end up like that one, right? And then end up like being down on your funded account and being like, what the fuck? So I hope no one took that, but if you did, my bad. Alright, so recap. We kind of didn't really do anything today. We kind of like, we kind of ranged a little bit. It was a pretty decent sized range though. So when we came into here, we tried to take a long position. It popped up a little bit. We moved to break even on our funded, on our eval. It hit us out at break even, and then once this candle opened up, tested the POC, we went short. We hit profit target on this one, on this account, and then we kind of sat here. We didn't really do anything, and then we tried to trade another evaluation account, which is this one. I'll show you. Alright, so you see this account right here that we just lost $980 trying to anticipate a breakout to the downside. It still has a positive balance, but that ate away half of the drawdown. So like basically the way I trade evals, there's one trade left. I usually give myself 2 losing trades on an eval before I blow it. So there's like 1 trade left on that account. So not a bad day for me. Hopefully tomorrow it's a little bit better and we pass the 2 top step accounts that we're working with right now, this one and this one. And then maybe we trade our funded accounts. Hopefully Alpha Futures takes my payout and then gives me back my account so I can trade it tomorrow. And then we'll just continue to work on evaluations this week. This week, I'm mainly going to be working on evaluations. So if you're going to watch me trade this week, just understand that like I'm going to be sizing kind of heavy and taking kind of risky trades. All for the purpose of trying to build up an army of funded accounts heading into the new year. And since we're in profit on the month with payouts versus fees, we have the room to do that. So if you don't have any payouts or you're not net positive on the month, do not trade evaluations the way that I trade evaluations. Just like take your time on them and wait for actual good setups, I guess. What I'll try and do is I'll try and make sure, like, because I do understand that even if I tell you guys not to take the trades that I'm going to take, there's probably going to be somebody watching this who is just going to take the trades that I take regardless of whatever the fuck I say. So I'll try and let you guys know before I take the trade if I would have taken it on my funded account or not. None of the trades we took today I would have taken on a funded account. Like I probably would have sat here all morning if I wasn't working on evals and just watched all this happen. And actually probably around when we got up here I would have just logged off because volume started dropping off. Blew 6 evals today. Sheesh. It happens. It happens. It's just part of the game. Hopefully tomorrow's PA will be better. But Not too bad. I'll catch you guys next time. If you want to join the Discord, click the link in the bio. It's free. You might win an account. We give them away. I just gave away 2 accounts last week. I don't know when the next giveaway will be, but they just happen randomly whenever I feel like it. I am going to do a giveaway when there's 1,000 members in the Discord. Right now there's about like 700, so. But I think we'll probably get there pretty soon. But if you're going to continue to trade, be careful because this is kind of bullshit. And it's better if you just save your capital, and we'll come back tomorrow. So I'll catch you guys. Peace.